Hey, what's up, guys? It is Lone Redemption here, and today I just wanted to make a video on something that's been on my mind, and I think it's been on a lot of people's minds within the Fortnite community, and that is whether or not Fortnite is dying or whether it is going to die in the near future. There are several changes that Epic have made that have made a lot of us question this, namely the fact that the SMG meta is just... It's pretty much all counter build right now. Building's been nerfed to oblivion. They've added in SMGs that just destroy building that quickly. It's clear that Epic are just reducing the skill gap between the really good players and the quote-unquote noobs. And I see a lot of people complaining about it, like especially good players. This game was always RNG, there's no doubt about that, but more than ever now, you can see that it is really RNG now. That before you had the double pump and all that and people were bitching about it, but at least you had to hit your shots and you had to be accurate and whatever. Now with the SMGs, you just spray and pray. And you'll get the kill because Bloom will work in your favor and you'll get headshots and you'll just get it and you destroy the buildings. So, yeah, noobs have really been catered for in this game, and I don't know if it's going to help the game in the long run. It is clear that a lot of the pro players and stuff are venting their frustration on Twitter and stuff, but Epic keep, making these changes, and I think it will drag a lot of the player base away who are good at the game. A lot of people just won't feel as if they're getting the rewards they deserve. It's, as I said, it's always been RNG, but if you're better than someone at the game, you should be outplaying them, but it's become less and less so as time has went on, with the nerf to building and the SMG buffs and explosive buffs and all that stuff. Also, with the introduction of the games that are coming out later on this year, a lot of them are linked with Battle Royales and have already had their Battle Royales confirmed, which will take players away from Fortnite. There's no doubt about that. The question is, how big of a percentage of the player base will drop off and move to another game? With Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption 2, the new Battlefield all coming out very, very soon, I think we'll see a lot of players shift interest into those games. And it might not be for a permanent amount of time. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will go to Call of Duty, play it for a bit, maybe not like it as much, then come back to Fortnite and start playing Fortnite again. I think we will see a lot of the good players will probably end up quitting Fortnite and going to other games like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Call of Duty. Because right now, I think a lot of the player base is getting a bit sick and tired of Fortnite. And with Call of Duty and Battlefield, I think Battlefield's already had its Battle Royale confirmed. I'm not too sure about that, but I know Call of Duty obviously has it. Red Dead Redemption 2 was linked with it. I don't think it's going to come out with one, but even like games like Last of Us 2 are being linked with one. I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. Maybe it would, but still, with the ever-growing rise of other Battle Royale games, it's going to get harder and harder for Fortnite to stay on top. So I do think that we are going to see a drastic drop-off in Fortnite over the October-November time period. Maybe people will come back after that, but I think there is going to be a substantial difference in the player base for that period of time. Just because of how many games are coming out, it's the prime time of year to be a gamer, October, November. If I'm being honest, I think, Fortnite has already hit its peak. I don't think the game will die, however. The game is free, and that's ultimately what's going to keep it at the top, is how accessible it is. Not only is it free, but it's on PS4, Xbox, PC, phone. It's so accessible for anyone. Your 50-year-old dad or, your 6-year-old brother, they have their iPads and their phones, or, you don't have to have a gaming console, and it's so easy to access. You just download it and you play. And it's child-friendly gameplay, I think, will keep a lot of kids on the game. Games like Call of Duty, Red Dead Redemption 2, Battlefield, these games, they're violent games, they're going to be rated R. A lot of parents don't let their kids have I know a lot of kids are allowed to get whatever game they want, but there are still, millions of kids who can't do that. They do need permission from their parents, and I think they'll stay on Fortnite. But ultimately, you've got to ask the question, what can Epic do to keep their game thriving? And I think it's very important that they keep the upper tier players on their game, because once they all leave, you might still have crazy numbers, but what does it matter if, your fan base isn't as engaged as the good players are? So I think what they need to do in the future is obviously listen to, pro players and all that. They already kind of do that. But I think also they need to care less about reducing the skill gap. Because I believe that a lot of the casual gamers, they don't read the patch notes, they don't even notice the changes to weapons. And I think in the end, it's not going to make a difference to them whether or not building is worse or better, because they're just there to have a fun time. I think it just negatively affects the game overall. I think these people would still be playing it if you didn't nerf building and you didn't buff SMGs and you didn't do these things to make them, if you didn't do these things to reduce the skill gap, I still think those lower tier players would still be playing the game just as much. So I think that's what Epic needs to do in the future. I think they need to really focus on not reducing the skill gap any further. At least keep it at this. If they reduce it any further, it's going to get ridiculous. So to answer your question, no, Fortnite won't die. Let's be honest. It's a free game. Like, it's not going to die. So many people play this game. It's known everywhere. Footballers are doing the celebrations in the World Cup. Like, everyone plays this game, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I think there will be a drop-off in the player base when these games come out, but ultimately, Fortnite will still thrive, I'd say, for the next year at least. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that Fortnite will continue to be the biggest game for probably the next year. What do you guys think? Do you reckon Fortnite's dying? Is it gonna die? How long's it going to last? Will it last another bloody 3 years? Who knows? I mean, it's still in early access or whatever you want to call it. So, the game will be around for a long time, there's no doubt about that. And the big question is, how are the other Battle Royales going to compete with it? Is Call of Duty's Blackout going to compete with it? We'll see. If you guys are new, please be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed. Also, leave a comment with feedback on the video, and not only that, but your opinion on the situation with Fortnite right now. Is it going to die? Is it going to stay alive? How long will it stay prevalent in the gaming community? You know, because I want to hear your guys' opinions. And also, tune in this weekend, because I'm going to be uploading daily content in Black Ops 4 beta. And also next weekend for the second weekend of it. And then I'll be uploading a crazy amount of content when Black Ops 4 drops, and I'm super excited. Yeah, that's it. Peace.